To understand what women desire is not to manipulate or surrender your will. It's to uncover hidden truths buried beneath social norms and unspoken expectations. Like men, women are guided by biological and psychological instincts. But unlike men, their deepest cravings remain concealed. Why? Because revealing them outright would strip away the mystique and power they hold in relationships. Understanding these truths isn't about blind servitude. It's about empowerment. Recognizing what women desire, yet rarely admit, is not about pandering. It's about mastering human nature. This knowledge shapes your relationships, interactions, and presence as a high-value man. The first truth: women crave being the top priority. They'll never say it outright. They'll act indifferent, maintain the illusion of independence, pretend they don't need to be placed above all else. But beneath that exterior, they want to be the first thought in your mind, the presence that lingers in your focus. Women, no matter how self-sufficient, long to feel wanted, needed, and deeply cherished. That is an undeniable truth. Men are no different. When we build, when we strive, we seek recognition. Women do the same. They don't want to be an afterthought in a life already full. They want to be the reason you pause, the force that commands your attention. The moment they sense they are not, they will leave. Not out of malice, but because their instincts won't allow them to stay. A woman doesn't care how busy you are or how lofty your ambitions may be if she always finds herself at the bottom of your priorities. She may tolerate it for a while, convince herself to be patient, but eventually she will seek the attention she craves elsewhere. This isn't about words or fleeting emotions. It's wired into her nature. A woman's emotional core is tied to her need for attention, validation, and security. Ignore that, and you force her to find it in another man. The balance of a high-value man. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, understood that while people don't require constant praise, they do require acknowledgement. Likewise, as a man of value, your role isn't to bend to a woman's every demand or place her on an unreachable pedestal. But neglect is just as fatal as submission. A high-value man balances both. He stays devoted to his purpose, disciplined in his actions, yet ensures the woman in his life feels valued. The man who scatters his energy across distractions, treating her as just another obligation, will lose her. The man who remains unwavering in his mission yet makes her feel like she matters, that is the man who will own her heart. The second truth: women crave pursuit but never chasing. Women desire to be pursued, not out of preference, but because it's ingrained in their biology. Being the object of a man's focused attention affirms their value, making them feel special, wanted, and irreplaceable. But here's where most men fail. They mistake this craving as an invitation to chase, and that is a fatal error. Chasing is insecurity in motion. It signals neediness and weak self-control. While a woman may enjoy the attention, she will never respect a man who bends over backward to win her over. A high-value man understands this. He does not chase because he does not need to. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, knew that one's worth is never dependent on external validation. The moment you chase, you surrender your power. The moment you withhold the chase, you exhibit strength. And that is why a man must resist the urge to chase. It sets the wrong dynamic from the start. A man who chases signals desperation, and women detect it instinctively. They might bask in the attention briefly, but deep down, they will lose respect for a man who eagerly seeks their approval. Desperation repels. Self-sufficiency attracts. Look at Alexander the Great. He didn't chase power, he commanded it. He didn't beg for validation. He earned it through action. Women are no different. While they desire pursuit, they ultimately respect a man who prioritizes his mission over their approval. A man's attractiveness isn't measured by how hard he chases, but by the life he builds. Women are drawn to men who are driven, assured, and unwavering in their purpose. Men who command attention don't chase, They attract. A high-value man knows his worth. He does not scramble for attention. He becomes the kind of man a woman cannot ignore. Women want to be pursued, but more than that, they want to pursue a man who stands firm in his purpose, values, and identity. This is where Stoicism provides its greatest lesson. It is not what happens to you, but how you respond. By refusing to chase, by maintaining emotional control, by standing firm in your own power, you naturally attract those aligned with your path. Women long to feel desired, but more than that, they long to be with a man who understands his own value. The choice is simple. Chase and you reveal desperation. Lead and you radiate strength. The third truth: women crave acknowledgement. Whether they admit it or not, women seek acknowledgement. It's woven into their psychology and biology. A well-placed compliment isn't about feeding vanity. It's about reassurance, a subtle yet powerful signal that she is valued and noticed. Evolution wired women to seek validation. In the past, acknowledgement meant security and belonging. Today, when a woman hears a sincere compliment from a man she admires, it sparks something deeper than words. It ignites significance. Yet most men get this wrong in one of two ways. They flood her with empty compliments, throwing words around until they lose meaning. Or they withhold praise entirely, thinking silence makes them appear strong. Both are mistakes. Over-complimenting signals insecurity, making your words meaningless. Withholding praise makes you seem cold, indifferent, or unappreciative. A fatal error when dealing with a woman's emotional needs. A stoic, high-value man understands the weight of words. He does not waste them. A compliment should be like a well-aimed arrow, precise, purposeful, and impossible to ignore. The key: praise, without neediness. A compliment must never become a bribe. Do not praise to win favor, seek approval, or manipulate emotions. A true man of value gives recognition because he sees worth, not because he craves validation in return. This is what separates the strong from the weak, the stoic from the sycophant. A woman respects a man whose praise feels earned, rare but meaningful. It's not about empty flattery on her looks. It's about recognizing something deeper, her essence, her energy, the way she carries herself. Women may never openly admit this craving, but it's there, silently shaping how they perceive you. A man who understands this, who wields words with intention, holds quiet power in his relationships. The fourth truth: women crave grand gestures but will never admit it. They may insist they don't care for extravagant dates, lavish gifts, or public displays of affection. They'll claim to appreciate the simple things. But beneath those words lies a deeper truth. They long for moments that make them feel special, cherished, and desired. Why do romance novels and movies overflow with dramatic declarations of love? Because it's not just fiction, it's human nature. Psychologically, women want to feel valued, to know they matter in a world that often overlooks them. They crave experiences that elevate them beyond routine. A surprise trip, a heartfelt letter, a spontaneous act of love. It's never about the price tag. It's about effort, thought, and the feeling that you're willing to go above and beyond. Where most men get it wrong. A high-value man does not rely on grand gestures to win a woman's affection. He doesn't throw money or extravagant gifts at her hoping to buy love. He understands that true value comes not from material displays, but from presence, consistency, and unwavering purpose. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius was not a man of excessive displays, yet his intentional actions and quiet strength spoke louder than any grand gesture ever could. Women may crave grand gestures, but they respect a man who doesn't depend on them to earn admiration. Why women never admit it? Because openly desiring grand gestures can seem materialistic or demanding. Society conditions women to suppress this craving, to appear humble, to downplay their longing for something bold, passionate, and extraordinary. But that desire never disappears. It simply goes unspoken. The difference between ordinary and high-value men. An ordinary man desperately tries to impress, mistaking grand gesture for love. A high-value man doesn't chase validation. He gives without desperation, without seeking approval. He embodies strength, purpose, and presence. And that, far more than any extravagant act, is what women truly crave. The fifth truth: women crave financial security, but not for luxury. Women don't desire wealth for excess. They crave what it represents: stability, reliability, and a future they can trust. Survival has always depended on resources. From ancient tribes to modern society, security is the foundation of life. Women, wired to think long-term, see financial stability as a safeguard against chaos, not as greed, but as biology. Where most men get it wrong, it's not about being rich. It's about being dependable. A woman doesn't seek financial security to flaunt wealth. She seeks it to eliminate uncertainty. Think of Marcus Aurelius. He didn't manage Rome's vast resources for indulgence, but for the stability of his people. A Stoic man operates the same way. He builds not to impress, but to create order and peace in his life. Why women won't admit this desire? Because society condemns them for valuing what nature has designed them to seek. They fear being labeled materialistic, even though their craving for stability is rooted in survival, not greed. But this doesn't mean a man must bear the entire burden. A high-value man partners with a woman who respects and appreciates his efforts in building a secure future. The truth about financial security: it's not just about paying bills, it's about vision. High-value women don't just look at what a man has. They watch how he handles his resources. Does he spend impulsively or invest wisely? Does he build or does he waste? A man's financial habits speak louder than his words. A disciplined man who saves, invests, and plans for the future exudes quiet strength that women find deeply attractive. The critical mistake most men make: they equate wealth with worth. They flaunt money, chase status, and flex material possessions, believing it compensates for a lack of character. It doesn't. Financial security only has value when paired with integrity, discipline, and purpose. Without these, money is just empty noise. A woman isn't just looking at what you have. She's assessing what you can build. So focus on yourself. Work hard not to impress, but to construct a life that reflects your highest potential. Financial security isn't the goal. It's the byproduct of living with intention, discipline, and vision. When you prioritize growth, wealth follows. And that is the true foundation of power. The sixth truth: women crave presence, not just a man, but a high-value man. Not a man defined by wealth or appearance, but by depth of character, unshakable resolve, and unwavering purpose. Becoming this man isn't a privilege. It's a path forged through discipline, self-mastery, and principled living. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire, yet remained humble, constantly refining himself. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. His words aren't advice. They're a command to rise above mediocrity. The pillars of a high-value man. 1. Discipline. A high-value man doesn't drift aimlessly or waste energy on trivial distractions. Epictetus, once a slave, taught that true freedom is mastering one's desires. It's won by disregarding what lies beyond our control. Women sense this instinctively. A disciplined man exudes quiet strength, unshaken by chaos or temptation. Two purpose ginsam. Kadim sounds gone. Discipline alone isn't enough. A man must have a mission. Alexander the Great didn't chase conquest for greed. He built a legacy. Women are drawn to men with purpose because it signals stability, ambition, and direction. Ask yourself, do you have a vision? Are you building something meaningful? Nothing is more magnetic than a man who moves with certainty toward a future of his own making. 3 dots. Strength with compassion. Seneca spoke of the balance between power and kindness. Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. True strength isn't brute force. It's power under control. Women respect a man who sets boundaries without cruelty, leads without arrogance, protects without the need to dominate. The ability to be both unyielding and empathetic, to be both a lion and a lamb, is what separates the truly great from the merely competent. For dots, authenticity. A high-value man does not mold himself to fit expectations. He stands firm in his values. Socrates chose death rather than betray his beliefs. To find yourself, think for yourself. Women crave authenticity because it signifies true confidence. A man who knows who he is and refuses to compromise becomes irreplaceable in a world full of pretenders. The high-value mindset. This is what it means to be a high-value man, not seeking approval but living with purpose, discipline, strength, and integrity. Women may not always voice it, but they recognize it when they see it. And once they do not forget. The final truth. Emotional mastery. A high-value man knows that true strength isn't suppressing emotions, it's mastering them. He doesn't shy away from feelings. He wields them with control, using them as tools for connection and growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." A man who navigates his emotions while understanding others becomes unshakable, a source of stability, a presence women trust, without fear of judgment or abandonment. Becoming the high-value man. To embody this standard is to be a fortress, disciplined, purposeful, compassionate, authentic, and emotionally intelligent. Women may never voice their longing for such a man, but their actions reveal it. They crave a partner who can withstand life's storms without wavering, who leads with conviction and loves with integrity. But this is not an act. It is a way of life. Mastery beyond attraction. What you've learned today isn't just about understanding women. It's about mastering the art of human connection. The principles uncovered here have the power to transform not just your relationships, but the very way you move through the world. A high-value man doesn't just understand what others desire. He rises above the superficial, embracing wisdom, discipline, and purpose in everything he does. Your challenge begins now. Don't just listen, act. Apply what you've learned. If you're ready to step into your full potential as a Stoic, high-value man, say it. Challenge accepted. And before you go, like this video, subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay connected with the knowledge that sharpens your path. True strength is found in the pursuit of wisdom. Your journey has only just begun. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay relentless, and never settle for anything less than greatness.